Hi, everybody. I am very excited to bring you the updated Lexus UX deep dive tutorial. Make sure to check out the time-stamped index that's in the description below the video. You'll either see show more if you're on a desktop, and if you're watching on mobile, look for the word more somewhere below the video title. That will open the video description and you can scroll through the images of the chapters. Click View All if you'd like to see the chapters in list view. You can also see the full time-stamped index in the mobile format by clicking on More from above, so that you can learn in any way that works best for you. We have a lot of exciting infotainment changes to this vehicle because, of course, now it has Lexus interface with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. In order to expedite making this video for you, you're going to see footage from the previous deep dive tutorial where appropriate, and I'll also incorporate some footage from other Lexus vehicles that have the Lexus interface system and some more advanced features that are available for the UX, but they're not on the model that I have access to. So I'll try to point that out wherever possible, but just know no matter what package you have on your UX, I'm going to try to cover every button, bell, and whistle that I can for you. For 2023, the all-gas version of the UX has been discontinued. All UX models will be hybrids, the UX 250H. The blue highlight has been removed, and the front logo has been updated to a solid black background. And they've eliminated the hybrid badging, so the word hybrid spelled out, from the rear door rocker panels. There's a standard 8-inch display and an optional 12.3-inch display. The new touchscreen display has been moved 5.6 inches closer, so it's within easy reach of the driver. There is no CD player any longer. All of the audio controls have been moved into the Lexus interface main screen. You'll also notice that the touchpad has been removed, and if your UX has the optional heated and ventilated seats and heated steering wheel, you'll see those buttons located here. A new buzzer sound that's been incorporated into the kick sensor to let you know that the sensor has seen your foot. Now let's go over all of the features on the vehicle. With the optional parking sensors, you'll see 4 round sensors integrated into the front bumper and grille, and 4 additional sensors across the rear bumper. Make sure to note that the fuel door is opened with a button just inside the driver's door on the lower left-hand section of the dash. Open it up, and they'll have a great little storage for the cap. Just pop it back into place when you're finished. If your UX is equipped with optional headlamp washers, you'll see them just below each headlight assembly. For the headlamp washers to operate, the headlights need to be on, either manually turned on or turned on automatically when set to the auto mode. They're also linked to the operation of the front windshield washer spray. The headlamp washers will slide out and it will spray washer fluid onto the headlights. Pull and hold and you'll spray the front windshield and your headlamp washers will operate. They'll also operate with every 5th pull of the headlamp washer stop after they've initially operated. 4, 5. I prefer to use this feature when the car is in motion, so the washer fluid will just run off on its own. Your Lexus UX has a smart access system with push-button start. You just have to have your smart key on your person. We've got the ability to lock, unlock, and an alert button. If you have a power back door, you'll have an additional button for power operation from the key fob. You can press and hold the button on the key fob to power open or close. The optional power rear door on the UX. You can use the alarm button on the key fob to locate your vehicle in a parking lot, or use the last parked location feature, which is included in the subscription service for Remote Connect in your Lexus app. The new UX comes with a complimentary trial of connected technology features. In order to remote start the vehicle, whether it's from the key fob or the Lexus app, make sure that your vehicle is locked before you remote start. To remote start from the key fob, you'll use the lock button. Press, press, press and hold. Hold until you see the indicator lights flash. You'll have 2 different rounds of indicator lights flashing. The first round of flashes lets you know that the command is being received. The second round of flashes just confirms that the vehicle is being remote started. It will run for 10 minutes. If it's still running when you go to enter the vehicle, you'll notice that it's going to turn itself off. That's a safety feature built into the system that makes sure that you have your key with you before you go for your drive. Just apply the brake and press the power button to turn on your vehicle. To remote start from the Lexus app, make sure that you have the Remote Connect feature activated. You should see lock, start, and unlock just below the picture of your vehicle. Make sure you have an all clear for vehicle status so you know that your vehicle is already locked. Then touch and hold on the start command. You'd have to hold for about a second. You'll see the circle indicator moving in blue, letting you know that your command is in process. If you happen to be in the line of sight of your vehicle, you'll see the indicator lights flash. But most of the time, of course, you're doing this at a farther distance. So you're going to monitor your app screen for information, like the drop down letting you know that your vehicle has successfully been remotely started, and even the countdown clock letting you know how much time is left on that particular 10-minute remote start cycle. To use your Smart Access key, just keep it on your person. Put it in your pocket or your bag. To unlock the driver's door only, put your hand in the driver's door handle and open the door. Now, only the driver's door is unlocked. Now let me show you a really cool feature. I'm going to relock the UX, and I want to open the entire vehicle just by using the driver's door handle. Put my hand in the door handle, wait just a few seconds. Now the entire vehicle is unlocked. Pretty cool. That system really comes in handy for letting other passengers into the rear of your vehicle because you don't have Smart Access sensors on the back door handles. You can lock the UX with your smart key just by touching the indentation on the front of the driver's door handle or the front passenger door handle. If you'd like to lock the vehicle with the engine running, you just need to use the mechanical key. Look for the word push on the side of the key. Press to pull out the mechanical key. The key cylinder is located underneath this section of the driver's door handle. That does mean that you need to lift open the door handle. Just be careful of your fingers. You don't want to brace the door with your fingers inside the door opening. Make sure that if you're supporting the door while you're accessing the mechanical key, that you either use your knee or that you support from the face of the door rather than the edge of the door. And then slide the key up and in order to lock the vehicle. You can lock, turning to the left, unlock, turning to the right. Twist to the left to lock, remove the key, close the door to the vehicle, and now your UX is locked with the engine running. To enter the vehicle, when you have manually locked the vehicle, you do have to manually unlock the vehicle because you've overridden the Smart Access system. Just pull the door handle. You'll notice that when the door is locked, it's a lot easier to access this because the door stays closed. So you can just insert the key, turn to the right one time, and you'll unlock the driver's door only. 2 times, and you'll unlock the entire vehicle. Remove the key, and then you have access to your UX. You can also use the mechanical key to lock and unlock the glove box. Twist to the left to unlock, and to the right, you'll notice the key is flat when the glove box is locked. The optional kick sensor and power rear door. With the new updated kick sensor, when you kick forward and back, now you're going to hear a beep letting you know that the system has seen your foot. You don't have to hold your foot there. In fact, if you do, the system is going to think you're too close and it's probably going to cancel, and you'll hear 2 beeps when that happens. Check it out. So the first beep is letting me know that the system has already seen my foot. The 2 beeps are the system canceling that kick command because it knows I'm too close. So just kick and step back. Just a simple and natural kick forward and back to open or close. Now that we have the power back door open, let's take a look at these buttons. The button on the left will power close. Just press, and you can actually stop it where you want it if you forgot something, or you can also use that button to customize the opening height. Just press the button 1 time. Press again to stop it where you would like to save it. Then you're going to push and hold and listen for 4 beeps. Now this new opening height has been set. If you'd like to reset it to the max height, push and hold, listen for 4 beeps, keep holding, listen for 2 more. Now we've reset to the max opening height. The button on the right-hand side will close and lock the vehicle. So you do need to have your smart key with you. The vehicle needs to be turned off, and all the doors need to be closed with no other keys inside the vehicle. When you press that button, you'll hear a lower tone and the door will close. You'll hear the beep and see the flash of the indicator lights, just letting you know that your vehicle is now locked. On vehicles with the optional power back door, you will see a handle to manually pull the door down. But once you start to do that, it is going to have some resistance, and then the power operation will take over. All UXs have 2 rubber touch pads located on the underside of the rear door lid. They are linked to the Smart Access system. The large touchpad is to unlock and open the vehicle, and the small touchpad will lock the entire UX. And open. If your UX rear door is operated manually, just use that large touchpad on the left-hand side to unlock and pop the latch for the back door. Then you'll manually lift it open, and you'll be able to see 2 pull-down handles, 1 on either side of the rear door. Once you've closed the door, just use that small rubber touchpad to lock the entire vehicle. Let's take a look inside the cargo area. You'll notice that the tonneau shade is moving up whenever the door is open. That's because there are 2 connecting tethers that you can easily remove. To take the entire shade out, you want to unhook the 2 back loops. And there's a small catch that you need to just maneuver the loop around. You'll see the loop that's here, and when you slide it onto the post, you have to then hook it onto the back piece. When you're ready to fold your tonneau shade, you're going to just fold it like a book. I like to hold it with the rounded corners facing me. Gently bring the corners together, and then the rest of the shade will snap right into place. You don't have to work hard because you don't want to bend the frame. You want to make sure that you're following the contours of the natural fold. Hold it up or down, whatever's easier for you. Bring the corners together nice and easy, and everything snaps into place. So I'm doing it pretty slowly just so you feel comfortable with it, but once you get used to it, it's really simple. So hold it up, bring your corners together, and you're all set. Then you can put it in the storage pouch. So
so it stores nice and flat. So to put the tonneau cover back on, remove it from the pouch, fold it up, and set it aside. Carefully open this just so that no one is right nearby. Make sure that you have all of the attachment points facing the top. Hook on both back sections. And then the top connection. Nice and easy.
You might see the first aid kit velcroed on either side of the rear cargo area. If you don't see it right away, check underneath the cargo decking. This is also where you will typically locate the mounting bracket for your front license plate. Let's take a look at some of the other features around the rear cargo area.
Cargo hooks that fold down and have a 4-kilogram capacity. On the left-hand side, you have another cargo hook and a 12-volt charger. Your cargo lights that are on both sides will come on and off automatically when you open and close the back door of your vehicle. There are 4 D-ring anchors that are located in the back so that you can add optional cargo nets.
Lift up on the lower cargo decking. You'll notice a cable that's on the left-hand side. If there's not enough slack, go ahead and just tug a little bit until you can bring the loop over the edge of the grommet. It might be a little taut the first time that you use it. You're just going to unwind. You'll see the loop on one end, and then you're going to connect that just up to the hook on the left-hand side. Now you can work hands-free. This cargo area has 2 sections, so it's a bit of a double-decker. Your first aid kit might be velcroed underneath, so just gently remove that if you would like to remove the lower cargo decking. This will lift up and out. This is a firm piece, but it's soft and felted, so if you're removing it, just make sure to take good care of it. You can set that aside, and then you have your lower cargo area. There are a couple of different pockets. This section is actually customizable. It has a small piece that detaches, and you can move it into different spots. The layout will be a little bit different on all-wheel drive models. Keep in mind that there is not a spare tire on the vehicle. Most UX vehicles are equipped with run-flat tires. Let's take a look at the sidewall. You should see the symbol for run flats, and you might even see the initials RFT. You'll see the wheel lock key if you have wheel locks on the vehicle.
If your UX has wheel locks, just look for the lug nut with the wave pattern.
And the emergency towing eyelet.
There are 2 towing eyelet mounts at the front of the UX. Make sure to consult your owner's manual for proper emergency towing procedure.
If you see a tab like this, that lets you know that there's a pin below. You can just pop it up, lift out the side cover, and more storage. When you put the cover back, make sure to insert the hook first. Then snap it into place. On the right side, look for the tab, lift up, and more storage. You can just snap that back into place. You'll see that there's a soft hinge here. If you do lift up, you'll locate the accessory battery. Snap into place. 1 click, 2 click, all set. If you do try to lift up the lower cargo tray, they don't really want you to try to lift that up. You'll have to take out multiple components, including some of the covers on the right-hand side of the back storage area. The power inverter for the hybrid system is located in this general area, but you're really only going to see a lot of sound dampening material It is not an additional storage area, and it should generally only be accessed by your Lexus technician. When you're ready to put things back, take the lower cover, slide it into place, let the front section fold down, release the support cable, wrap your cable back around, loop the end back into place. And you're all set to close her up.
The second row of the UX can accommodate 3 child safety seats. To access the tether point that comes under the headrest, just look for the arrow, move your finger down, and then you'll find an opening that reveals the anchor point. The left and right side seats have the lower latch anchors. Just use your finger to remove the cover, hold on to that for the future, and then follow the manufacturer's instructions for the installation of your car seat. It's always a good idea to fold your headrest down before folding your seat back. Push the release on the side of the headrest, lift all the way up until it clicks and moves to the hinge position. Hinge forward to click it into place. And then you can release the seat into its folded position. And then you can repeat on the other side. Lift up slightly, push the release, lift all the way to the hinge, and then release from the shoulders of the seat. To restore the headrest, push up and all the way down until it's in its locked position.
If you fold the second row seats down, make sure that you know that there is a hinged flap that allows you to cover the space between the second row seats and the rear cargo area. This means that you want to be mindful when you put things in and take things out that you don't accidentally lift up or damage this section. When you lift the seat up, the hinged section will automatically move back into place.
Child locks are located on both rear doors. If you push it down, it's in the locked position, and then a rear passenger would not be able to use the door handle inside the vehicle to exit. You would need to open from outside. So if you don't have small children in the back, make sure that you have this in the unlocked position. Rear cabin passengers have an armrest, 2 center cup holders, and 2
USB-C ports
for charging.
Looking at the lower corner of the back seats, you'll see the vent for cooling the hybrid battery. Make sure that this doesn't get blocked to keep the ventilation flowing. It is okay to vacuum the vent when you're cleaning the vehicle. Just be careful not to spray any cleaning solution inside. We are ready to move into the front cabin, and the first thing that we're going to do is set up your Lexus driver profile. Having your driver profile connected gives you a much more customized experience in your Lexus with the new Lexus interface system. It's going to save and show your radio favorites. It'll even turn on the connection for Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, depending on your phone. So let's go ahead and set up our Lexus driver profile. Open your Lexus app and select Keep Me Signed In. Then click Sign In if you already have a Lexus or Toyota app account or a Lexus driver account. If not, you'll select Register. When you register, choose Continue to Registration, and then follow the steps for full app registration, rather than signing in with a social media platform. Since I already have a Lexus account, even if it's from a previous vehicle with our previous connected system, I'm going to come back and choose Sign In. Enter your email or mobile number, and then enter your account password. You might be prompted to enter an authorization code. If you've entered your email address, the authorization code will come to that email inbox. If you've entered your mobile number, it will come via text to your mobile number. When you get to this screen asking you to add a vehicle, we're going to pause on the phone for just a moment and follow the prompts on the vehicle screen. Select your language of choice, and then if you already have the Lexus app on the phone, you can bypass this step by leaving it blank and clicking send. If you enter your phone number, it's not a problem at all. It's just going to send you a text inviting you to download the Lexus app. When the QR code appears on screen, select Scan QR code from the phone and give permission for the app to use the camera if you're prompted. Then scan the QR code. You'll notice that the vehicle is already ready to move on to the next step, but we have some additional steps in the app. Choose Save Changes at the bottom of the screen. You'll see all of the connected service trials that are available for your vehicle. Select Continue, and you'll be able to review and accept the terms for each trial. Choose Accept to turn on and activate each trial. If you're not sure that you want to set up a Wi-Fi hotspot, just choose Maybe Later and then Confirm. And confirm and continue. Congratulations. We'll click Finish Setup. If you have multiple vehicles in your garage, touch and hold on the car icon at the bottom center menu to open the app Garage and slide. And then you'll see that you have the option to make this your new default vehicle in your Lexus app. Now the system on the car is already ready to do Bluetooth. So let's come to our settings on the phone, open Bluetooth, and let's follow the prompts. Click Yes on screen and allow the UX and the phone to connect. Click right on Lexus UX on the phone and confirm the pairing. Allow for contacts, call history, and Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, depending on the type of device you have. Now, this is the primary phone that I would like to use for my driver profile, so I'm going to say, yes, I want this to be my primary device. Yes, I want to use Apple CarPlay in the vehicle, especially because now it's wireless. Make sure to allow or answer in the affirmative for any prompt that appears on your phone screen. If you think you're going to do texting via Bluetooth, click on the lowercase I for information and turn on Show Notifications. Select Bluetooth to go back and Settings to go back, and then you can close your settings screen. You can reopen the Lexus app and you'll see the remote features that are available for the Lexus UX. Taking a look at the new infotainment system. To get back to our Lexus interface system, just click Lexus, and you'll see the Lexus interface menu on the left-hand side. If you would like to add an additional driver profile, you would click on the plus a person icon, and then you'll be asked for their Lexus account login information. That means they need their own Lexus account, and you'll be able to add them to the vehicle as a driver. They won't go through the scan QR code process because the vehicle will not be in their app garage, but they will be able to customize settings like radio favorites, for example. To delete a driver profile, confirm that the primary driver is connected, select Edit, and then click on the minus symbol and click Delete. It's going to delete the driver profile and the Bluetooth and Apple CarPlay or Android Auto connection. And then in your phone's device, come to Settings, Bluetooth, and then go ahead and forget this device. You can also drive the vehicle in guest mode. That means you won't have a driver profile connected, but you can still connect your phone for Bluetooth and Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Just click Search for Devices on the vehicle, open the Bluetooth settings on your phone, and follow the steps to pair your device. And just follow all the prompts on screen to make sure your device is completely connected. Make sure to note that in guest mode, things like radio favorites and seat position will not be saved for your driver profile, so you want to make sure your driver profile is connected before making any customizations. Also note that only the primary driver can subscribe to the Drive Connect navigation system. But once they do subscribe, the maps will be available on screen, even in guest mode. All screen sizes are compatible with Drive Connect. They just require either an active trial or a paid subscription. Now that we have our driver profile set up, let's explore the rest of the vehicle. We'll come back to all of the other Lexus interface features when we explore the new center console.
Seat adjustments are just on the side of each front seat. You can move forward, back, raise the hip point, lower the hip point, raise the front of the seat support, lower the front. You can also adjust the seat back cushion, backwards and forward, and lumbar support. Your tilting and telescoping power steering wheel adjusts on the left-hand side. You can push up on the toggle to raise it, pull down to lower, push it toward you or away. Mirror adjustment. Toggle left and use the touchpad to make your change, and do the same on the right-hand side.
If your UX is equipped with driver position memory, to save, just adjust your seat, your steering wheel, and your side mirrors. Then press the button that says Set, let it go, and push the button number of your choice. You'll hear a beep and it's saved.
Linking the key is done through the buttons in the driver's door handle. Make sure to have your selected key with you. All doors need to be closed, and then using two hands, you'll simultaneously press the button for your driver position memory and the unlock button. We're listening for a short and then long beep. All set.
For an adjustment on a manually adjusted steering wheel,
Release the lever, then you can adjust the steering wheel toward you or away and bring it up or down. Just adjust it until you have it in your best driving position, then lift the lever up and press and then lock it into place. Another item to note about the side mirrors, if you have this selector bar toggled either left or right, when you put the vehicle in reverse, the mirrors will tilt down. That's also customizable. Go ahead and put the vehicle in reverse. Make the adjustment that you want for the right and left mirror in the tilted down position, and then put the vehicle back into park, and that setting will be memorized. If you prefer the mirrors not to tilt down in reverse, just toggle the selector bar to the neutral position, so not tilted down on either side. If you see the word auto up at the top, that lets you know that you have auto folding mirrors. You can choose to power fold them in by pushing down and to the right, or you can open them to the auto position or tilt all the way to the left and they will hold in the open position. Most people do prefer leaving them in auto. It means that when you lock the vehicle, the mirrors will fold in automatically, and that's kind of just a great indication that your vehicle is locked.
lock, unlock, lock the windows. If you lock the windows, this means your passengers can no longer operate the windows, but you can. On the left-hand side of the dash, you'll see up and down arrows that will change the brightness of your instrument display. Simply push the up arrow to increase the brightness
and the down arrow to decrease. Also located on the left side of the dash is your odometer trip meter button. If you look here, while I toggle the button, you'll see your information change from trip A, trip B, to a blank screen. You have your odometer information. Trip A and trip B can be cleared just by pushing and holding the button, and then cycle back to your odometer. Moving down the left-hand side, you'll have a panel of buttons. If they're blank, don't worry. It just means those items are on a different package that's not on your vehicle. We'll go over a different model that has some of these features on board. Models with the F Sport handling package will also have the button that says ASC. That stands for Active Sound Control. You can turn it off or on. This will allow more engine sound to come through the cabin just to enhance the sportiness of the drive. Moving down on the left-hand side of the dash, the fuel door button, the power rear door button if your UX is equipped with a power back door, and the manual release for the hood. Let's get to know all of the equipment on and around your steering wheel. On the left-hand side, you have your headlamp adjustment. All the way at the bottom, everything is off, including daytime running lights. Twist up to auto, and then your headlights will come on as needed. You can also select parking or daytime running lights or low beam headlights. If you have manually turned on your headlights, you'll need to put them in auto or off when you exit your vehicle. If you have your headlights in the auto position, you can also engage your automatic high beams just by pushing the button on the end of the stalk. And as long as you have your headlights in auto and the light indicating auto high beams are ready, when your lights are on, you'll also see the headlight icons on the dash for low beams and high beams, even in auto mode. Windshield wipers are on the right side of the steering wheel. You can have automatic or intermittent wipers on a UX. If your wiper stock says INT, you have intermittent wipers. If it says auto, you have rain sensing wipers. All wipers on the UX function by adjusting the position of the stock and then adjusting sensitivity or speed on the dial. Let me show you how that works. At the very top would be a swipe for mist, and then you're in the off position. Come down and you're in intermittent or auto, depending on your equipment. Make the adjustment to have faster or more sensitive wipers, or slower or less sensitive wipers. Or come for a steady swipe down to low, and then at the bottom, high. So watch the wipers. Up for mist, and it drops back automatically to the off position. Down, 1 for intermittent or automatic, depending on your equipment. Down again for low, and all the way at the bottom for high. Back to off. The rear wiper is adjusted at the end of the dial. Intermittent, on, or off. You can spray and clean the front and rear windows. Pull it to you to clean the front windshield and push away to clean the back. We're going to use these buttons to operate the multi-information display. The multi-information display is located on the left-hand side of your instrument panel. The F Sport version of the UX even has the sliding bezel that's straight out of the LFA flagship. Just press the Go Back or Menu button to reveal the multi-information display. You'll see up, down, left, and right arrows, an OK button for making selections, and a Go Back button to take you to the previous screen where possible. If I arrow to the right, you'll see the items change on screen as I move through each possible menu. If I keep arrowing to the right, I'm just going to loop right around where I started. You'll see the information menu, arrowing to the right for a compass, arrow to the right again for an audio summary screen, to the right again for driving support information like dynamic radar cruise control and the lane monitoring system. Arrow to the right again for service-related messages. To the right again for settings. Let's arrow to the right one more time and take a closer look at some of these menus. If you have more pages available in a particular menu, you'll know that because when you press the up or down arrow, you'll see a slide bar pop up on the display. If you press the up or down arrow and you don't see a slide bar and the display doesn't change, it means that's the only item available in that particular menu. Let's check them out in detail. I'm going to arrow up until I'm at the top of the information menu where it says current miles per gallon. We'll see current fuel economy and average miles per gallon after reset. That means you can push and hold the OK button that's in the middle of all four arrows if you would like to reset the fuel economy data for your vehicle. Arrowing down and we have our range. How many miles do we have left on this tank of fuel? Arrowing down and we're back at our energy monitor that will show power and regenerative braking flow as you drive. Arrow down again, we have our tire pressure monitor. Arrowing down again, and our last item is actually a blank screen if that's your preference. Now you don't have to arrow back up, just arrow down one more time and you'll loop around to the top of the menu. We've already gone to the right. Let's shortcut by pressing the left arrow button and open the settings menu. This is where you can make customizations and even turn certain features off or on. The first three items that you see on this list are customizations for the Lane Trace Assist feature. You can turn lane centering off or on. To make selections like that, we're just going to press the OK button. Coming down to the alert type for our lane monitoring system, we can choose to have an audible alert or a vibration of the steering wheel. Just press the OK button to make your selection. Arrowing down to the sensitivity of our lane monitoring system, we can choose high or standard. Now let's come down to this icon that represents your dynamic radar cruise control. Press OK and we'll open an additional menu where we can customize the curve speed reduction settings from off, low, or high. When you have your adaptive cruise turned on and set and you're coming around a turn, the vehicle's going to recognize that and slow down for you accordingly. Now we're going to push the Go Back button, the one that looks like a sideways U-turn arrow button. Press that and we'll go back a screen. Now press your down arrow button and we can come to pre-collision system. Press OK and you can customize the sensitivity. There are 3 levels of sensitivity. The most sensitive is going to have 3 bars. You can bring it down to a mid-range, or 1 bar, which is going to be the least sensitive, so it's going to wait longer before it reacts. Most people prefer the mid-range. And then arrowing down, if you turn off your pre-collision system, press the OK button. You're going to get another screen asking you, are you sure you really want to do that? If you arrow up and push OK, then you're going to get a big warning that says pre-collision system off. You're also going to see an additional pre-collision system off icon on the right-hand side of the display and in orange. just to try to make sure that you really know you've done that. And when you turn the vehicle off and back on, your pre-collision system is going to turn back on automatically. Press OK to turn the pre-collision system back on, and then press the Go Back button so that we can go back to the previous screen. Arrowing down, and we come to our next page of settings items. BSM is our blind spot monitor. You can turn that off or on. When your blind spot monitor is on, you'll see BSM in green on the right-hand corner of your instrument panel. The light will turn off when you turn blind spot monitor off.
You'll also see that indication in your side mirror.
Arrowing down to PKSA, that stands for Parking Support Alert, things that beep at you when you're parking. Push OK to open that menu, and you'll have your parking sensors off or on, and you'll see the parking sensor off icon on the right-hand side in orange if you've turned them off. Coming to RCTA. The system is designed to look for vehicles or motion crossing at the rear of your UX when you are in reverse and backing up. You'll see the RCTA off icon if you've turned it off, so we'll turn that back on. If you're in an F-Sport model, some of these icons will be located on the opposite side of your dash. So if you don't see it on the right, just look to the left. Arrowing down, and you can customize the volume of the alert for your parking sensors and your rear cross traffic alert sound. There are 3 levels of alert. 3 is the loudest, 1 is the softest, and 2 is right in the middle, and that's the default setting. Pressing the Go Back button, arrowing down to turn off or leave on your PKSB, Parking Support Brake. This is an auto braking feature that works in conjunction with the alerts that you could be receiving from the parking support system.
If you're receiving a notification from your parking sensors or your rear cross traffic alert and you slow down but do not come to a stop, your UX will apply the brakes.
Coming down, and you can choose kilometers per hour or miles per hour for your unit's customization. Arrowing down again to vehicle settings, press OK to open this additional settings menu. You can turn off or leave on the sway warning. The sway warning works in conjunction with the lane monitoring system. If you've been given multiple corrections in a row about the vehicle leaving a lane without using your blinker, you're going to get a picture of a coffee cup that pops up. The system will suggest that you might take a rest. It's concerned that you are potentially a fatigued driver. Rather than turn the sway warning off, arrow down and consider customizing the sensitivity, low, high, or standard. Pressing the Go Back button and coming down to Blind Spot Monitor Customization. You can adjust the brightness, dim, or bright, and the sensitivity. 4, 3, 2, or 1. Most people prefer either the most sensitive or just 1 notch down. Pressing Go Back, arrowing down to this icon, which represents the Road Sign Assist feature. Press OK, and you can turn Road Sign Assist off or on. When the system is on, you can customize whether or not you're notified about exceeding a recognized speed limit. You can choose to have no notification, visual only, where you'll see an orange light up if you've exceeded the recognized speed, or visual and audible. Most people do prefer the visual only. Pressing to go back. If you do get notified, you can choose how many miles an hour over the recognized speed do you want that notification to be. 1 mile, 3 miles, or 5 miles over the recognized speed. Pressing to go back, you can choose to be notified about other types of signs like stop signs, yield signs, and right-of-way. Do you want no notification, visual only, or visual and audible. Pressing to go back, and now we actually need to go back again. We went 2 menus deep, so let's go back one more time, and coming down, we can turn off or leave on the rear seat reminder. The rear seat reminder is triggered by opening a back door before your drive. And when you turn the vehicle off, it is going to just ask you, hey, you may want to check that rear seat. It doesn't mean that anything's wrong. It's just letting you know that the door was open before your drive, so you may want to just check back there before you exit and lock the vehicle. Ultimately, it is a child safety feature, so definitely if you travel with children, I would recommend that you leave the feature turned on. Arrowing down for our optional power back door customization, press OK. You can turn it off if you choose system settings. What that means is you are completely disabling the power portion of the back door. When it's turned on, you can customize the volume of the tones, 3, 2, or 1. And you can turn the kick sensor portion off or on if you also have the optional kick sensor installed on your UX. Pressing go back, arrowing down for our last page of vehicle settings, our tire pressure warning system. You can set pressure, and if you have changed to a different set of wheels, your technician would go through the process to recalibrate your tire pressure warning system based on the new wheels or tires that you've gotten during that service. Arrowing back, you can reset your scheduled maintenance data. Keep in mind there are 2 types of maintenance. Your standard maintenance is going to be every 5,000 miles or 6 months, whichever comes first. And your oil maintenance is going to be every 10,000 miles or once a year, whichever comes first. Pressing to go back. And let's arrow down one more time just so we can be right at the top of that vehicle settings screen. Pressing the go back button again, and notice on that slide bar we still have a little bit more that we can do. So let's arrow down and we can open our meter settings. Just press OK. You can customize the language that the vehicle operates in, from English, French, or Spanish. Pressing to go back. This is an additional units customization if you'd like more detail. Pressing to go back. The speed meter. You can choose to have an analog meter or a digital meter. Drive information 1 and 2. Remember those fuel economy settings screens that we saw before? These are customizable. Coming down, press OK, and a lot of people like to remove the average speed after reset. So we'll highlight that item, press OK again, and now we have a list of things that we can put in that spot instead. Arrowing down, a lot of people like elapsed time after start. That would let you know how long the vehicle's been running. Arrowing down again. And these are all of the different items that you could put in that spot. And this is another item that a lot of people prefer. Average fuel economy after refuel. Let's push OK and make that selection. So we're going to press the go back button to clear that screen. Go back button again to leave the meter settings. And now let's just arrow to the right and take a look at that change. So I've arrowed down and I have range at the top and average fuel economy after refuel just below. So how am I doing on that particular tank of gas? Now keep in mind, this is a brand new vehicle. It only has 25 miles on it. It takes about 3 full tanks of gas for the vehicle to learn how you drive and show more accurate data for your fuel economy information. So just don't be thrown off if your first couple of tanks of gas just don't make a whole lot of sense. Not to worry. Now let's arrow to the left, come back to our settings, push OK to reopen meter settings. And if you wanted to customize the other drive information screen, you could. Let's arrow down and come to the last section of our meter settings screen. You can choose to have each of these items on or off just by pressing the OK button. turn-by-turn navigation if you are subscribing to the Lexus Drive Connect navigation system, telephone call information, audio operation, like the mode, for example, are you in AM, FM, satellite, volume operation for audio, turning it up or down, you would see that, and the brightness pop-up. So when you make an adjustment for how bright the gauge cluster is, do you want to see that? Yes, we want to see that. Or no. So now if I adjust the brightness, I'm going to see the lights getting dim on the instrument panel or more bright, but I'm not going to actually see the pop-up showing me kind of like a progress bar of how bright or dim I am making the display. Pressing to go back, coming down to the tachometer settings, you can allow the TAC to change when sport mode is selected, so it's going to change on its own. Or you can tell it, I always want the TAC. So if you select tachometer always and you push OK, it's going to leave that menu setting. You don't even have to press go back. So press OK again to reopen your TAC setting. And let's choose HV meter always. So hybrid vehicle meter always. And then you'll see the hybrid meter version. Press OK again. And if we come back to on, then it's going to adjust for us automatically based on our selection of sport mode, eco mode, or normal mode. Arrowing down, you can turn off the EV mode icon. You're not turning off EV mode or the ability for the vehicle to go to electric mode. You're just turning off that pop-up icon. Coming down to select default, if you push OK, you're going to reset everything to the factory default settings for your multi-information display and the items that those control. So let's just leave all the changes that we've customized already. Let's press the down arrow to come back to the top of our meter setting screen. Press go back to leave that menu. Press the down arrow again to come back to the top of our settings menu. And remember, if you push go back and nothing happens, you're as far back as you can get. Let's arrow to the right, shortcut to our information screen, and let's come back down to that energy monitor screen. Let's go back to our steering wheel buttons. We've taken care of all of our multi-information display buttons. This is our telephone button. You can adjust your volume for phone and radio, minus for less, plus for more. Your voice command or talk button. Since Lexus vehicles equipped with the new Lexus Interface multimedia system are really designed to be voice first, you can either use the talk button on the steering wheel or just use the wake phrase to activate your assistant. In fact, you have two assistants on your new Lexus ES. The Lexus Assistant that operates functions on the vehicle, like giving commands for the audio system, navigation, climate control, and more. Hey Lexus!
What do you want to do?
Tune to classic vinyl on SiriusXM. And then you have your phone's voice assistant, either Siri or Google, for phone commands like placing a call or sending a text. To wake your Lexus Assistant, you can either say, hey, hi, hello, or okay Lexus, and then give your command, or push and release the talk button on the steering wheel. To wake your phone's assistant, simply say your phone's wake phrase, either hey Siri or okay Google, and give your command. Or push and hold the talk button on the steering wheel, just like you would push and hold a button on your phone to activate your phone's assistant. So you would say, hey Siri, or okay Google for texting or placing a call. You can also use your phone's assistant for navigation. Hey Siri, get directions to Target in the Woodlands, Texas using Waze. On the right-hand side of the steering wheel, you have radar cruise control. Just push to turn it on. You will see radar cruise active You'll also see the cruise control icon. If you arrow to the driving support screen, you'll notice that it now says radar ready. You'll see the indication if cruise control and lane trace assist are both turned off. Once you have cruise control turned on, when you reach the speed that you would like to cruise, press the button that says set. Then you'll also be able to adjust your following distance: long range, mid-range, and close range for the buffer zone between you and the vehicle traveling in front of yours. There are two types of cruise control. When you push and release the cruise control power button, it defaults to radar cruise. Press again to turn it off, or push and hold, and you'll see the feature change from radar cruise to constant speed. That means you won't be using radar or the following distance, so you will be completely in charge of braking and slowing down. Just press again to turn the feature off. When you push the lane trace assist button, it will tell you that steering assist and lane centering are active. Then you'll see the lane trace monitor system right on screen. When the lane markers show as hollow, that means the system is on, but it's not actively seeing lanes yet. When they light up solid, you'll know that the system is registering the lane markers or the shoulder or edge of a road. When the lane markers are not visible and you're traveling on the freeway, maybe you're in traffic, the system is able to trace off of the vehicle in front of you, and you'll see the icon or the indicator change on the display. If you're not using radar cruise control, it's going to engage lane keep assist. So if you start to veer out of your lane and you don't have your blinker on, whichever lane you're approaching is going to light up and flash, kind of like an orange color. You're going to get a vibration in your steering wheel depending on the setting that you chose in the multi-information display. You'll even get a nudge or a correction. If you press the lane trace assist button again, you'll turn the feature off. When you're turning it on, it's also going to tell you steering assist active, lane centering active, dependent on those settings that we reviewed previously. So if you've turned lane centering off, when you turn lane trace assist on, you'll see steering assist active, but you won't see the message about lane centering. That customization needs to be turned on for lane centering to operate when lane trace assist is active. The last few buttons on the right-hand side are for our sound system, and you can change your audio source with your mode button. Push and release the mode button to toggle through all audio sources: FM, AM, SiriusXM, your phone's audio content, and both streaming music subscription services. A really cool tip about the mode button is that it also operates as a mute or pause button. Just push and hold, and it will mute or pause your audio content. Push and hold to resume. Only content that can be paused will be paused. Then, when you start playing again, it'll pick up right where you left off. But if the content is live, it's going to mute when you push and hold the mode button. When you're listening to radio sources, your arrows will change you from one favorite to the next. Move through your radio favorites list. Just click either right or left to move up or down your list. If you're not in list view, not to worry, you'll still have the visual at the bottom for your actively playing station, and you'll also have a pop-up on your multi-information display depending on the settings that you have in your vehicle. Your arrows will scroll you through tracks depending on what type of audio you're listening to, and push and hold to seek. It will move to the next available signal. Some UX models, like the UX vehicles with the F-Sport handling package, also have paddle shifters mounted at the back of the steering wheel on each side. Keep in mind that the UX Hybrid has an electronically controlled, continuously variable transmission. There's not a specific set number of gears for the transmission. When you move from drive to S mode, you'll see shift level 4 appear on the display. That doesn't mean you're in fourth gear, because there really isn't a fourth gear. It just puts you in a specific range of acceleration force and engine braking. And if you want to adjust the acceleration and engine braking feel, you can use the paddle shifters or shift right on the gearbox. Upshift, downshift, and upshift on the right, downshift on the left. The lower shift level is actually increasing the feel of the acceleration force and the engine braking. It's going to feel sportier and more aggressive, and you may or may not like that. Then you could use the right paddle to increase the shift level, or just go back to drive and let your UX handle all those shift adjustments for you. Moving up from the steering wheel, you'll notice 2 additional dials on either side of the gauge cluster. You'll see a drive mode selector. Just follow the arrows to make your selection. You're changing the throttle response when you make an adjustment to your drive mode selector. Twist down for eco for a more fuel-efficient drive. Up for sport for a more aggressive drive. You'll see the theme change, and you'll see the word sport on the lower left-hand corner. And you'll also see the theme information as a drop-down notification on your main screen. Twisting down for Eco, and we see the Eco drop-down on the main screen. And we see the Eco theme and the Eco theme name on the instrument cluster. And push the button at the end to come to Normal Drive Mode. Normal Drive Mode does not have a drop-down title on the main display, and it doesn't say normal anywhere on the gauge cluster, so don't worry about looking for that because it's not there. If your UX has the F-Sport handling package, you'll have 2 additional drive modes, Sport S Plus and Custom. So let's check it out. If we dial up to select Sport mode, we can dial up one more time to select Sport S Plus. You'll not only see a very dramatic lighting theme on the center gauge cluster, and of course you'll get that drop-down notification on your main display, but you'll hear this kind of cool heartbeat sound. Check it out. Very cool. Then push on the end for normal, and push again for the custom drive mode. When you press for custom, you'll see the custom theme name on the multi-information display, and you'll see the drop-down notification that you're in custom mode at the top right-hand corner of your screen. Notice that if you activate custom mode, you can shortcut to the settings for the custom drive mode just by pressing settings from the drop-down notification. The left-hand side turns off traction control. You'll see the message on your display. Just push again to turn traction control back on. Moving up to the headliner, your dome lights operate just with the touch of a finger. Your dome lights have a door function. You want this button to be flush. If you push and it's sticking out, you've canceled the door mode. We want door mode on so that when you open a door, your dome lights come on automatically. You can adjust your moonroof opening up or down at the back just to let in fresh air, or open and close completely. Your Safety Connect button is just behind a small door. All UXs come with a trial period for Safety Connect. Coming down on the lower right-hand side below the steering wheel, you'll see the emergency parking brake button. To manually operate the parking brake, first apply the foot brake, then lift up to turn it off, lift up and hold, and you'll deactivate that auto mode that's referred to as the shift interlock function. Then to turn the parking brake on, you would be in park, apply the foot brake, push down, and the parking brake is on. Push down and hold. And the shift interlock function, or the automatic mode for the parking brake, has been reactivated. Now let's come to our main screen and look at our new Lexus interface system. You'll see the Lexus interface menu on the left-hand side of the screen. Your top icon will be a shortcut to your phone's operating system, Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. This connected phone is an iPhone, so you see the Apple CarPlay shortcut icon right at the top. So if you don't see that, it means that your profile is not connected or your permissions have not been turned on for that connection. If you don't see those icons, the top icon on the display will be the arrow for the Lexus Drive Connect navigation system. Your Lexus audio system. Coming down to select the phone, there are two phone views, and you'll see that you are using either Apple CarPlay or Android Auto to operate your phone's device. You can click right on screen to open the shortcut to your phone through your connected device, or just use voice command. If you're connected for Bluetooth only, this phone screen will appear a little bit different. Coming to the vehicle features screen and the settings menu. We'll go through all of these items in detail. At the top right-hand corner of your display, you'll see the icon for the optional wireless charger. To the right, you have an icon that looks like a satellite. That's actually indicating the DCM connection. So the connection for your vehicle to the cloud and the system that pulls in all of the details for Lexus interface, especially your connected services like Drive Connect. Your Bluetooth symbol will be highlighted in blue if you're connecting your phone for Bluetooth only. Otherwise, even though your phone may be paired to the system, if you're actively using Apple CarPlay or Android Auto that requires Bluetooth and Wi-Fi to be turned on your phone, it's going to show that Bluetooth icon gray. You'll also see the digital clock in the top right-hand corner. If you click the clock, it will shortcut you to the clock settings menu.
Let's go through each item in our Lexus interface menu.
Since we have our phone connected for Apple CarPlay, we see that icon at the top of our menu bar. Just click to open. There are two menu shortcuts on the bottom left corner. If you are on the Apple CarPlay home screen and you'd like to get back to Lexus interface, just click on the apps menu icon and then click Lexus, and you're right back to Lexus interface. Keep in mind, you can use your mobile assistant's wake words like "Hey Siri," or you can touch and hold on the icon on the lower left-hand corner and click to cancel. No matter which menu icon you see on the lower left-hand corner for Apple CarPlay, you can push and hold to activate the assistant, or press and hold on the voice command button on the left-hand side of the steering wheel. So for your phone's mobile assistant, push and hold to activate, push and release to cancel, or just use the wake words. If you're using Apple CarPlay or Android Auto for navigation, you can use any compatible navigation app that appears on your screen. Just scroll through. You can either select the app by clicking on the app icon, or you can give a navigation voice command with your phone's voice assistant. Hey Siri, get directions to Target in the Woodlands, Texas.
Getting directions to Target. Starting route to Target.
Notice that I just asked her for directions to a specific place, but I didn't designate a specific app to use. So Siri will default to Apple Maps. If you'd like to use a specific navigation app, just add that information to your voice command. Right now, we're in the Apple Map, but we also have Google Maps on this phone. Hey Siri, get directions to Starbucks in the Woodlands, Texas using Google Maps.
Here's what I found.
And now our app has changed based on the instructions that we gave. When you have a route programmed in, you'll also see navigation on the left-hand side in your multi-information display, depending on your settings. You can cancel your route on screen by selecting End Route or by voice command. Hey Siri, cancel navigation.
Ending navigation.
For texting, when you receive a text message, you'll see this. Just click to play.
Ava said, hey Melissa, thank you so much. I'm enjoying this weather, are you? Have a great one. Would you like to reply?
Reply, yes, it's absolutely gorgeous today.
Your reply says, yes, it's absolutely gorgeous today. Send it?
Yes.
Done.
You can either click on screen to have your message read or ask Siri to read it. Hey Siri, read my last text.
You have recent messages from Ava. Ava said, hey Melissa, thank you so much.
You can make a phone call in the exact same way. Hey Siri, call Sarah.
Did you mean Sarah? Mobile.
Yes.
Calling Sarah. Mobile.
If a contact has multiple types of phone numbers, you can even be more specific. You can ask for them to call that person cell, work, home. The more specific you are, the more efficient it is to place your call or send a message. Now let's take a look at Android Auto. And for an Android phone, you might need to select the additional Connect using wireless Android Auto, and then follow additional prompts for Android Auto setup. When you're looking at the Lexus interface system and you see your Lexus menu bar on the left-hand side, you'll know you have Android Auto active and connected because you'll see the Android Auto logo at the top of the menu bar. Just click to open, and of course, it's very important to know how to get back to the Lexus menu. Open the Apps menu screen and click Lexus, and now you'll be back in Lexus interface. Just click on the Android Auto icon to launch the system on screen. You'll have your network connection, phone battery level charge, the digital clock from your phone, and your 3 frequently used app categories: navigation, entertainment and information like news or music, and communication. Just below, you'll have a microphone icon because you can use the wake words for your phone's assistant, the talk button from the steering wheel, or the microphone icon right on screen. How's the weather today?
Today in spring, there will be scattered.
After the most recent Android Auto update, you might notice that there's been a great improvement to the response and the interrupt capability for the Google Voice Assistant. Depending on which version of Android Auto you have, you might be able to give your prompt and go straight into your command, just like you can with the Lexus Assistant or Siri for Apple phones. If you're having trouble with the Google Assistant understanding your command, make sure to wait for the listening tones, and then that should clear that up for you. Okay, Google, Get directions to Target in the Woodlands, Texas.
Target is 8 minutes from your location by car in light traffic.
Coming below the microphone, you have a shortcut to the new home screen for Android Auto. This will give you 2 tiles, and you can scroll through to suggestions on the right side screen. Only certain apps are compatible with the right side tile. A more recent capability for Android Auto is to take the Google Map full screen. Just select the Apps menu and then click on Maps to open Google Maps to the full screen view. You can click on an app or feature to operate it, or just use voice commands. Okay, Google, call Sarah.
Calling Sarah.
You can operate these things even when you're in the Lexus interface screens by voice command. If I want to keep my hands on the wheel and I don't want to click anything to launch, I could launch a specific app with my Google Assistant. Okay, Google, get directions to Target in the Woodlands, Texas.
Target is 8 minutes from your location.
I could do the same thing with our Lexus Assistant. Hey, Lexus, show my radio favorite screen.
Showing radio favorites.
Okay, Google, launch Spotify.
Sorry, that app isn't supported on this device.
So if you have an error about an app, that means you need to check the app status on your phone. It might need an update. It may have offloaded to the cloud if you haven't used it in quite some time, or the app may have already updated and you just need to give some additional permissions for the app to operate correctly when mirroring to your vehicle. So let's come back and keep going through our Lexus interface system. Click on the arrow icon shortcut in your Lexus menu bar. If you click on the navigation icon and you see this screen, it just means your Drive Connect subscription or trial is not set up yet. When you set up your driver profile, you'll be able to turn on the trial for this subscription service. You can also always subscribe by clicking on the subscribe button and following the steps to set it up, or by selecting to add the service through the subscription section of your Lexus app. Just remember that you do need to be the primary driver to set up any subscription services for your vehicle. Now let's take a look at our Lexus Drive Connect cloud-based navigation system. With Google Points of Interest, the intelligent Lexus Assistant that's always learning because it's connected to the cloud, and the Destination Assist live operator. If you would prefer to speak to an operator to have them help you input a destination. Those 3 features are bundled together when you set up your trial or paid subscription for Drive Connect, the new Lexus navigation system. The large 12.3-inch screen comes with a complimentary 3-year trial of Drive Connect. On the right-hand side of the screen, you can click the compass to switch the orientation of the screen, the flat view, 2-dimensional facing the direction you're going, 2-dimensional with north held at the top of the screen, and the tilted or 3D view. In the flat or 2D view, you'll see small dash marks around the compass icon. In the north up view, you'll have an N for north with a red arrow facing up. And in the 3D view, you'll have the compass pointing in the direction that the vehicle is facing with no dash marks around the compass. To zoom in, you can use the plus symbol or pull your fingers apart on screen. To zoom out, pull your fingers together or use the minus symbol. And don't forget voice command. Hey Lexus, zoom in on the map.
Okay, zooming in.
Super easy. Select the 3 bars to open an additional menu. You can turn on and off traffic flow information. So green, it's moving, yellow, it's slow, red, it's bumper to bumper. You can select on screen to call your destination assist operator. You can also shortcut to the navigation settings, just like clicking on Settings and scrolling to Navigation, and you have the same settings menu
that we'll look at shortly.
Coming back to our map,
you can select to mute the navigation audio, the turn-by-turn directions, just by clicking on the lower right-hand corner.
Or unmute. In order to put in a destination, you can click on the search icon and then click Search Navigation to open the keyboard, and you can start typing in an address or a point of interest, or look for recent searches on the right-hand side. If the keyboard disappears because you're not using it, don't panic. Just touch Search Navigation and it will reappear. Select the numbers to begin a search for a particular street address. And then letters to input the street name. You can choose Go Now or Start to Drive. You can launch a navigation command from any screen. Hey Lexus, get directions to Target in the Woodlands, Texas.
I found 8 results near the Woodlands, Texas. The first is Target Grocery at 1100 Lake Woodlands Drive. Would you like to go to that one?
Yes.
Calculating route to Target Grocery.
Done.
Proceed to the highlighted route.
Nice and simple. Hey Lexus.
What would you like to do?
Cancel my trip.
Canceling trip.
If you'd like to use voice commands to enter an address, it always helps to say the city and state. Just don't say the zip code. Hey Lexus, get directions to 9600 Grogan's Mill Road in the Woodlands, Texas.
I found 9600 Grogan's Mill Road. Would you like to go now?
Yes.
Calculating route to 9600 Grogan's Mill Road. Proceed to the highlighted route.
If your phone is connected via Bluetooth, you can share your location. But if you are using Apple CarPlay or Android Auto and you would like to share your ETA, you need to use a navigation app from your device. You can save this location as a favorite. It's important to note that even though you can save favorites right in the system on the vehicle, in order to save your home or work location or manage your favorites list, you'll want to do that in the Lexus app. Open the app and then click Find in the menu on the lower right-hand corner of your app. Select Destinations to open the My Destinations menu. Then you can customize your address for home and work, manage your favorites list, send locations to your Lexus, and even view recent destination searches. Now let's come back to the map. Choose the right-facing arrow to review your route. Scroll to Open Alternative Routes. Select to hide and click Go
Proceed
Now.
to the highlighted route.
Once you have a highlighted route on the screen, you can click to end the trip, add a stop, add Starbucks along my route.
I found 12 results along your route. The first is Starbucks at 500 Rayford Road. Would you like to go to that one?
Yes.
Adding Starbucks as a stop. Proceed to the highlighted route.
I can then edit my stops if I have multiple stops. And let's say I wanted to go in a different order. Just grab the handlebars and drag and drop to change the order. Allow the system to update the route.
Proceed to the highlighted route.
And click Save. Just remember to share your ETA. You do need to be connected to Bluetooth. If you'd like to do that, click Settings, Bluetooth and Devices, select your phone, and turn on the phone's connection via Bluetooth. Just remember it is going to disconnect Apple CarPlay temporarily. Coming back to our Drive Connect screen, open that drop-down menu, and now we can share our ETA with our contacts from our phone. And you can end your route in multiple ways. Select End on the far right corner, open the drop-down menu and select End Trip on screen, or just use voice command. Hey Lexus, cancel my route.
Canceling trip.
Nice and easy.
Pop-up messages will appear on screen on the top right-hand corner, including low fuel messages and the opportunity to choose from a list of nearby gas stations.
Coming to the music notes to open your new audio system. If it says Enable Audio, that just means the audio is off. You can turn it on by clicking Enable Audio on the main screen, or just press the power and volume button. My top audio voice command tips are to ask Lexus to show my radio favorite screen, or to tell Lexus what I'd like to listen to. For example, hey Lexus, I want to listen to First Wave on SiriusXM, or hey Lexus, tune to channel 33, or tune to 99.1 FM, things like that. The new Lexus Interface Radio looks incredibly different, but it's super easy to use. It operates on favorites rather than radio presets. Let's take a look at the menu items on the left-hand side. Our first item is our favorites. One of the things that I really love about the new Lexus Interface Radio is that your favorites stay with your profile. So when you connect to another Lexus Interface vehicle, whether it's a future car or a loaner vehicle, your radio favorites will be there for you, and you don't have to keep searching for radio stations or enter your favorites every time you get a new car. Let's talk about how to tune the radio so that you can find a station and favorite that station. Right here we have the word tune. We can then choose our source. Do we want to tune to an FM or AM station or a SiriusXM channel? If numbers are not available, they'll be grayed out. And as you start typing, other available numbers will become clickable. If you make a mistake, you have a go back arrow, just click that and then enter the correct number. If you'd like to favorite this station, just click the heart. If you've made a mistake, you can select undo or just deselect the heart, and that will be removed from your favorites list. Once you have favorites in your favorites list, notice that when we're in full screen view, our favorites push to the left. Let's take a look at that. When we have favorites selected at the top and our favorites appear on the right-hand side in a tile view, you can just click on an item to play that item and it will open up full screen. Or if you see station or channel information across the bottom, you can click on that to open to full screen. Whenever you have full screen view on the right-hand side, the tile layout of your stations pushes to the left and it shows as a list view. From list view, you can edit your favorites. Just click Edit and you can remove a favorite, or you can rearrange favorites. Scroll to a station or channel that you would like to move. Look for the handlebar on the left-hand side. So that's the 3 little bars. Touch and hold, you'll hear a beep, and it lifts up that particular item. Just slide it around until you have it where you want it. So you can drag and drop, rearrange, and delete. Whenever you're done, click Done Editing. Select Radio with the left-facing Go Back button to come back to our main radio screen and come down to FM radio. If you don't have your station numbers memorized, you can always search within FM radio. You can now search all stations recently played or all of the stations that are available in your area. This is great if you're traveling and you're not familiar with the stations in that area. Just come here and search all stations, or search by music type. So search by genre, and you'll see stations that are available playing that particular content. Locate the mode button on the steering wheel, then push and hold the mode button. If you are listening to AM or FM and you push and hold the mode button, it will mute the audio, and push and hold again to unmute. Coming back to radio, and you'll see the same type of setup for AM radio, recently played at the top and all available stations below. If you are on a drive and you feel like you've driven out of range, you may want to click Refresh so that the system can find local signals and refresh and create your new station list. You'll see the circle icon change from blue to gray as it progresses through the station list update. And when it's complete, it will tell you station refresh complete, and you'll know you have correct stations that are available where you're driving. You also have a genre search on the left-hand side. Pushing to go back, and select SiriusXM. So SiriusXM has been sorting by genre for a really long time. So you also add this capability of recommended channels. So they kind of based on what you already listen to with SiriusXM, they'll make suggestions for you. Then you can select broader categories like music and then drill down from there. What genre within music would you like to listen to? And all of the channels that apply to that genre will show up in a tile layout on the right-hand side. For music, sports, news, talk radio, or select all channels if you'd like to see all of the available programming for your particular satellite radio subscription. You can also select listening history. If you were listening to a channel that you really enjoyed and you kind of forgot to save it, you could just check back to your listening history and search to see what that channel might have been, and then you can go back to it. Notice that satellite radio can be paused or played by clicking on the icon on screen or with the mode button on your steering wheel. So to pause, you'll push and hold. You can just press and hold the mode button again to play. You'll even see on screen when you make the change. When the audio content is playing, you'll see the pause icon, and when you've paused the audio, you'll see the play icon. You can also select Related or Notify Me. If you choose Related, you're going to see other channel suggestions pop up on the right-hand side. So these are other things you might like based on this particular channel. So then you could select those, listen, save them as a favorite, whatever you prefer. When you select Notify Me, you can choose to be notified if this song is playing on another channel, or if that artist is playing on another channel. So it'll give you a notification on screen asking, would you like to go to this other channel to listen? You can click OK to save. You can undo if you feel like you've made a mistake. Or if you select Notify Me Again and come to Manage, that shortcuts you to the SiriusXM settings in your main settings menu that are located in Sound and Media. This is where, if you have allowed for artist and songs notifications, once you've started adding items to that list, you'll see the alerts that have been set. Just click Edit if you would like to delete all or just delete a particular item. And if you feel like, oh no, actually I do want to be notified about that, just click Cancel and Done Editing. Then to come back to your Lexus interface menu, just click the music notes. And to get back to that full screen view, click the bar at the bottom of the screen. I'd like to show you how to quickly locate the radio ID, selecting radio to go back, and then select Tune. Choose SiriusXM, and then type 0. When you type 0, that's going to locate the radio ID for you. Just keep in mind that it's not possible to access this screen when you're talking on the phone connected to the vehicle. If you need to locate your radio ID while you're talking on the phone, come to Settings, Sound and Media, SiriusXM, Help and Support. And there's your radio ID and listener care number right on screen. Another item on screen is your source feature. On our previous model vehicles, source included AM, FM satellite, Bluetooth audio, things like that. The source menu is a little bit different for Lexus interface. You won't see a CD player source because there is no longer a CD player. It has radio as its own source. If you click radio, you'll come back to your main radio screen, and then you'll either operate from favorites, tune, or choose a radio source, FM, AM, or SiriusXM. Come back to source and you'll see your phone's audio shortcut. For, in this example, Apple CarPlay, because it's an iPhone. When your phone is connected for Bluetooth only, you'll see that audio content from your phone will be connected via Bluetooth, as opposed to Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. It just depends on your device and how you've chosen to connect it to the vehicle. Then you have streaming music services available as their own source. Apple Music or Amazon Music. Those require paid subscriptions for those services, and you can either have the AT&T Hotspot subscription to support that streaming content, or you can use one of the other connected services bundles that Lexus has made available in order to stream this type of data. Or you can always just stream that content through those apps through Apple CarPlay or Android Auto that don't require an additional subscription. Coming to the phone with Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, we see phone favorite, our recent calls, our full contact list. We also have a keypad. We have the ability to have our vehicle play voicemail. Selecting the app icon in the lower left corner to go back, and click on Lexus to return to our Lexus interface system. The telephone operation will be different if you're connected for Bluetooth. Here's how to do that. Come to Settings, come to Bluetooth and Devices, choose your phone, and then toggle to enable phone and click Continue to confirm. You can also select to use Bluetooth for media. You'll notice that the Apple CarPlay shortcut has been hidden from the Lexus interface menu on the left-hand side. Now, when we click on the phone menu icon, we see what the phone looks like when it's connected through Bluetooth. you still have the same functionality. When you turn the vehicle off and back on, it will not only remember your last selection for permission to use either Bluetooth or to connect for Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, but it will also search for new favorites, contacts, and it will update your recent call history. Favorites, contacts, and recents are all managed through your phone. You have a keypad selection available. And of course, make a phone call by voice command. Hey, Lexus.
What do you want to do?
Call Sarah.
Calling Sarah.
You can even dial by number by voice. Hey, Lexus. Dial 281-569-3300.
Calling Northside Lexus at work.
You can even set up text messaging permission just by following the instructions to customize the settings in your phone. Open Settings and Bluetooth, and then look for the Bluetooth connection for your vehicle. Select the lowercase I for information, and then turn on Show Notifications. Once you've given permission on your phone for notifications, click Yes. No messages currently synced. That's because you haven't received a text message during this drive cycle. You'll receive a drop-down notification. Then you can ask your assistant, Hey, Lexus.
How can I help you?
Read my last text message.
Message from Melissa O'Connell. Thank you. Would you like to reply?
Yes.
Please dictate your message.
You bet. Period. Have a great day.
Your message says, you bet. Have a great day. Would you like to send?
You'll also see a notification number next to your messages. Just select to play.
Hello.
Then you can click Send Message.
What do you want your message to say?
Have a great day.
Your message says, have a great day. Would you like to send this?
Yes. So you can give the verbal confirmation to send or click send on screen. Just keep in mind that texting via Bluetooth is a little more restrictive than using Apple CarPlay or Android Auto for text messaging. If you'd like more information about how to use Apple CarPlay, make sure to check out our Apple CarPlay Tech Tip tutorial video here. If you'd like more information about using Android Auto in your Lexus, make sure to check out this Tech Tip Tuesday, all about Android Auto. Click on the car icon to open your vehicle features screen. The first item on the list is climate. So let's go ahead and talk about all things climate control. We do have a lot of controls down with the climate control buttons. There are some features that you can only control on screen or on screen and by voice command. Let's review our climate control buttons first. To manually operate the driver's temperature or passenger temperature, just use the buttons on the outsides of your climate control operation. Of course, you can always use voice command. Hey, Lexus, set the temperature to 70 degrees.
Setting the driver's seat temperature to 70 degrees.
Notice that when you operate the passenger side temperature, it separates itself from the control of the driver's side temperature. So now we have two independent temperatures. If we want to sync, all we have to do is click sync on screen in this climate menu. And then the temperatures will sync up. If you're not in that menu and you don't want to go through the steps to open your climate control on screen, since you don't have a sync button outside of the screen, just ask Lexus to do it for you. Hey, Lexus, sync the temperature.
Turning on sync mode.
Nice and simple. Let's come back to our climate screen. Use the fan button to control fan speed, up or down. The fan speed operation is not clickable on screen. Notice that it's kind of a light gray color. You also have auto for the fan operation. Now, if you turn auto for fan on, it's going to modulate your fan speed for you based on the temperature you've selected. It will also take over operation of airflow mode. So notice it says auto on screen by the fan speed, and it says auto for the icon representing where the air is flowing in the cabin. So if you would like to turn off auto for the fan, you can't click this button again to do that. If you would like to take over control of fan speed, you can do that just by clicking using the button. Then notice that you still have the airflow mode in that auto setting. Just take over, and you can either use the hard button shortcut or click on screen. You could select off and turn the entire climate control system off. To turn it back on, you can either select to operate the fan manually or press the auto button again, and it will resume that automatic operation of fan speed and airflow mode based on the temperature you've selected, the temperature inside the vehicle, and the outside temperature. Toward the center of the buttons, we have our front defrost or defogger, on and off, rear window and side mirror defogger or defrost, on and off, outside air, recirculating air. So there's not a separate button or a separate light for this operation now. Just press the button if you'd like recirculating air to make sure you see a green light above that symbol. And the hard button shortcut for airflow mode. Just toggle through face, face and feet, feet only, feet and defogger. On screen, you can turn the AC compressor off or on. If we want to sync, all we have to do is click sync on screen, and then the temperatures will sync up. This icon represents a feature that's called S-Flow. S-Flow is like a smart flow. It's looking for occupied seats to direct airflow toward. When S-Flow is turned off, air will flow throughout the entire cabin. When S-Flow is on, the vehicle is looking to direct air toward occupied seats only. Usually it's triggered by the weight sensor in the front passenger seat or from opening a rear door to let rear cabin passengers into the vehicle. But if you ever feel like the air is not flowing to the back of the cabin, make sure to come here and turn S-Flow off. One last item on the climate control screen that's really important to know about is Climate Concierge. If you select Climate Concierge, every feature having to do with your climate control system is going to be in auto mode except for your temperature. So as you adjust your temperature, the vehicle is going to respond accordingly with what it needs to do to get you to that temperature and then maintain it. The trickiest part about Climate Concierge is turning it off. Because just like auto, if you click on Climate Concierge to turn it on, you can't click on Climate Concierge to turn it off. You need to take over each individual item. That can be a little bit of a hassle if you don't like auto mode for anything, but it's pretty cool if you want to have your entire climate control system in auto except one particular component. For example, a lot of people like to use the optional heated seat more like a heating pad. So even if it's really hot outside, which it is currently in Texas, and you want your temperature down low, the fan really blowing, airflow coming right at you, but you want to take over for the heated seats, you can do that. Or take over any element that you would prefer to operate manually. Coming down just below our main screen, all of the front vents work in the same way. Take a look at the end of the dial. You want the selector to be pointing up for the vents to be open. If you twist to the right and the selector is facing the right, then the vents are closed. They may still look open because they are louvered and you can slide up, down, side to side. But to keep those vents open, dial to the left with the indicator pointing straight up and the vent is open. Coming to options, you can leave off or turn on Eco Heat and Cool and the Windshield Wiper De-Icer. That's not something we get to use here very often. Now click Vehicle in blue with the left-facing arrow to come back to our Vehicle Features menu, and then select Comfort. Keep in mind that the items on this screen are optional equipment for heat and ventilation for the driver and front passenger seat, and the heated steering wheel. You can control these items on the main screen or with the buttons on the lower center console. The first press of the heat or fan control will turn on auto mode. Just press again to click through the different levels. The soft buttons on screen and the hard buttons on your lower center console work in the same way. First press turns on auto, next press, and you take over control. There are 3 levels of heat and 3 levels of fan for the driver's side and the passenger side. Just press until you have the setting where you want it. A neat thing about the auto button on screen for this feature, you can turn it on and click again to turn it off. The heated steering wheel works in the same way. And the first touch turns on auto mode, and the second touch takes over manual control. The optional heated steering wheel has 2 levels of heat, high and low. Click on Vehicle to go back. Let's open our trip information screen. You can clear the data and history. You can update or clear data. Coming back to current, select Vehicle to go back, and open the Energy Flow Monitor screen. Keep in mind that this is just a general summarization of what's happening with the powertrain at the time. So right now we are in all electric, but when more power is needed, you'll see it light up on the main display, letting you know that right now we have electric power operating the wheels. When the gasoline engine needs to come on for additional support, even if it's just for climate control, you'll see that reflected on screen. Click Vehicle to go back and select Vehicle Alerts. This is where you would have service or maintenance related messages. A neat tip for the trip information screen is that if you exit trip information to come to a different menu, then you click on the car icon again, you'll be right back on that trip information view. You'll see that there are additional items available because the word vehicle with the left-facing arrow is highlighted in blue. So you can click to return to the full vehicle features menu. The Energy Flow Monitor works in the same way. If you're on the Energy Flow Monitor screen and you leave to use one of your other Lexus interface items, when you come back next, your Energy Flow Monitor will be on screen. And click the gear to open your main settings menu. At the top left, you'll see the current driver. To the right, you'll see saved profiles. And if you have more than one, you'll see which is designated as the primary driver. When the primary driver is actively connected to the system, you have the option to edit. When you edit, that's going to give you the capability of eliminating or deleting a profile. If you click on the minus symbol, you're able to delete a profile, including the primary if you'd like. Just click Done Editing. You can choose plus a person and do manual setup, and then you would follow the steps with that person's Lexus app login. Where you see refresh, have the system look for devices that have the Lexus app signed in. Let's check that out. Refresh. If you have another phone with the Lexus account signed in, you'll see them listed on screen as a detected profile. Then select the profile name and enter the PIN for that profile. Once you've entered the PIN, that profile will be able to be added to the vehicle. Whatever compatible customized settings they have will appear through the system. Notice it's asking, do you want to save as the primary driver? If you want to kick out the primary and make this profile the primary, you would select this box. Otherwise, you'll click continue. If you click don't save, then you're just going to be starting over. So we'll click continue, and this will allow us to add a new profile to the vehicle. It also gives us an option to pair a device. So we'll click continue, search for devices, and then follow the prompts to pair the phone to the system. Another important detail is that additional drivers will not do the add vehicle step on the phone. They will not have the vehicle in their app garage, but their account will be in the vehicle. If you're not sure what your Lexus PIN is, click on the profile icon on the top right-hand corner of your app screen, come to Account and Security Settings. Give permission. If you see Set PIN, you'll select Set PIN. If you see Reset PIN, you already have a Lexus app account PIN. You can either guess at what that is, just don't guess too many times or you will be locked out for a little while, or reset the PIN. If you choose that, it is going to tell you they need to verify your identity for security reasons. So you will click Confirm, and then you'll have to sign back in to the app with your credentials, and then you'll enter your 6-digit PIN, and you'll enter it twice just to confirm the PIN in the system. Come back to the main Lexus interface screen. To switch from one profile to another, just touch that profile name. Here's our PIN again. Very important to know your PIN. Also, after app updates or account updates, you may be prompted on screen for your PIN for security, so make sure you always save a PIN that's simple to remember. I'm being asked, do I want to adjust my seat position? Sure. If you valet park, choosing Sign Out to Guest mode is a great privacy tool. Choose Sign Out to Guest mode. You'll see that Guest mode has been activated, and then if you come to the Lexus Navigation and you look at destinations, you'll notice that home and work are no longer available even if you've saved them in your personal driver profile, and favorites and recents that are your personal trips or searches for navigation will not show up under the guest driving mode. So this is a great way to maintain privacy when you valet park. Then when you get back into your vehicle, just click the gear to come to Settings, click on your driver profile name, and then enter your PIN. You don't have to click Enter, just type in the 6-digit PIN that you've saved in your Lexus driver security settings in your Lexus app. Coming to Personal Info, you'll see the personal information for the selected driver. So right now, here I am, I'm the primary driver. My phone is connected. Yes, my name is Melissa. Yes, the phone is called Michelle's iPhone. Long, funny story about having department phones. Figure that one out. You'll see Manage Devices. If I click on Manage Devices, this is a great place where I can forget a device or change from the Apple CarPlay connection to just connect for Bluetooth only for phone or media. Press Settings to go back. Coming back to Personal Info, I can choose to reset the system settings back to their default or delete this driver. Coming to Bluetooth and devices, you can add another device. If you get a new phone, you don't need to eliminate your entire Lexus driver profile. Select your old phone and then choose forget. Then you would come back to Manage Devices and add another device, and just follow the prompts on screen. Coming back to Settings, scroll down and let's open the General Settings menu. And you'll have the ability to turn off or on the screen beep, adjust the screen sensitivity for up or down. It's recommended to increase the sensitivity to high for smoother operation in the winter if you're going to be wearing gloves while you're driving and trying to operate the screen. You can adjust the date and time. Without the GPS connection through the Drive Connect subscription, you'll have the capability of choosing a 24-hour clock, and you'll make the selections for time zone and toggle daylight saving time on or off, depending on the time of year. Scrolling down, we have 2 additional selections. You could choose to set the time automatically based on the time zone and your daylight saving time selection, or set the time manually if maybe you need a few more minutes just to make sure you're on time each day. And you can customize the date format to your preference. This is going to apply to notifications in the inbox for things like over-the-air updates. Anywhere that a date might appear, you are able to choose your date format layout. With a Drive Connect subscription connected to your driver profile, the new cloud-based Lexus Navigation system allows the system to adjust the date and time automatically. The first and foremost is right at the top, set date and time by GPS. If we toggle that on, it's going to eliminate all of those other customizations because it's doing everything for you automatically, except for the choice of a 24-hour clock or reformatting the layout for your date and time. If we toggle off the set date and time by GPS, then we see the other features that we looked at previously. However, we add the capability of automatically locating us in our time zone and automatically adjusting for daylight saving time. If you're not using the set date and time by GPS, once you've made your selections for time zone and daylight saving time, even if your selection is set to auto, you can also then turn on set time automatically, and the clock will adjust based on the selections that you've chosen. You may be asking yourself, why do I have to set the time automatically if I have already chosen auto for the time zone and daylight saving time? That's because you have the option of automatically adjusting based on your selections or manually adjusting your clock. Set the time manually if you would like to adjust your clock just a little ahead. You can select set minutes to 00 to reset to the top of an hour, and OK to save. But of course, the easiest setting is always going to be set date and time by GPS if you have that feature available. You can clear the keyboard search history, and coming to language and units, you can customize the language, English, Spanish, or French. You can allow the measurements the vehicle uses to be set automatically based on your regional location, and then it'll show you what it's using here. If you turn off the auto selection for that, then you can come down the list and customize if you prefer. Press Settings to go back and select Notifications. Your notification screen will vary depending on whether or not you have a Drive Connect subscription. You are going to have the ability to turn off the notifications for software updates. This isn't turning off the software update process, and keep in mind that most updates are going to be considered critical updates, and if you choose to decline them multiple times in a row, the car is going to get to a point where it just requires you to actually complete the update. And vehicle suggestions can be selected to on, shown only at stop, or turned off. Vehicle suggestions are pop-ups on the multi-information display with reminders of things like you've left your headlights on with a suggestion to turn them off, or that a window may be open, things like that. With a Drive Connect subscription for Lexus Navigation, you'll have some additional settings in this menu. Let's take a look. You can leave on or turn off the virtual assistant. You can choose to turn on navigation during phone calls. That means the voice will speak to you while you are simultaneously on a phone call. A lot of people don't actually like that, so it is off by default, and you would still have your visual navigation information on your main screen and your multi-information display, and these additional navigation customizations. Offer on for turn-by-turn directions, traffic alerts, state border guidance, unverified road guidance where possible, and high occupancy vehicle lanes. Selecting Wi-Fi, you'll notice two different items under the Wi-Fi menu. Your vehicle is capable of having a hotspot through a subscription with AT&T. It does come with a complimentary trial, but those do go pretty quickly if you are using a lot of data, depending on what you're streaming. But after the trial, you would need a paid subscription through AT&T. Customize your password here. Remember that this is the password that you would be creating for the AT&T subscription hotspot on the vehicle, and this is the password you would be giving to your passengers who want to hotspot their devices off of your vehicle's Wi-Fi hotspot. If you choose Connect without a password, that gives your passengers 2 minutes to hop onto your hotspot without having to use a password. You can allow the time to run out or select Settings to go back, and once you've exited that function, it's going to turn itself off. The Wi-Fi capability, however, is a little bit different. This is what allows your UX to connect to a Wi-Fi network if you have an over-the-air update that requires Wi-Fi to perform that update. You would just follow the prompts on screen to allow your vehicle to connect to the Wi-Fi network of your choosing. Press Settings to go back and come to Display. You can turn the display off, and to turn it back on, touch anywhere on the screen and then touch right in that box that says Touch to turn screen on. You can allow the display to change automatically from light to dark mode, or you can choose the daytime or nighttime light or dark theme based on your preference. And you can adjust brightness and contrast. Selecting Camera, and you can adjust the camera brightness and contrast. This color palette is not actually clickable. It's just going to show as an example of what changes with the camera view when you make that adjustment. And to really test it out, just shift the vehicle into reverse and see if you like the changes that you've made. Clicking Settings to go back and come to Sound and Media. You can turn off or on the auto sound levelizer that's going to make minor volume adjustments based on vehicle speed. If you have your phone connected for a Bluetooth-only pairing, you'll see additional customizations for ringtone volume, new message, and received call volume. The system voice and driving assist sound volume are customized here, and you can turn surround sound off or on. Coming to sound tuning. If you select sound tuning and you don't see any accessible controls, that just means you need to turn on your audio system. Then you can adjust treble, mid-range, and bass. And adjust the balance and fade for sound coming through the speakers on the vehicle. If you have made an adjustment and you'd like to recenter, just click Recenter. Selecting Media from our left side menu, and you can Choose a default media source if you are using the streaming music subscription service for Apple Music or Amazon Music. If you're using those music services through Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, you don't need to make this selection here. You can turn off or leave on the display cover art. Select radio under sources, and you have some additional customizations for displaying FM information, HD radio for FM and AM, allowing those signals to be left on or turned off. Remember that HD radio just allows for additional digital programming from stations on FM or AM. You can clear your radio station history, and you can turn on enhanced metadata for artwork from the Grace Notes database. That just allows the vehicle to search for more current artwork wherever it's available. Selecting SiriusXM, you'll see the status of the XM account, whether it's active or not. You can allow notifications to be turned on or off, and you can choose to block explicit content, and you can allow a feature to stay on or be turned off that's called Tune Start. Tune Start is really cool. You may even have it on already and don't realize it. It allows music or programming to start at the beginning of a song when you change from one SiriusXM channel to another. Very cool. You can also clear your SiriusXM listening history. If you select Sports, this will allow you to choose a sport and then choose your favorite team, and your SiriusXM programs will be on the lookout for content, and at the start of a game, your system can notify you if your team is playing. Click on Music. Allow notifications for artists and songs if you have selected to be notified when a particular song or artist is playing. Scrolling down to Help and Support, you'll see the listener care number, the radio ID, and the SiriusXM radio version currently on your vehicle. Clicking Sound and Media to go back, and Settings to return to our main settings menu. And let's open Navigation. These are additional map details that can be left on or turned off, showing speed limit information where available, traffic incidents, and free-flowing traffic information. That's the green, yellow, and red that shows for flow of traffic. Is it moving? Going slowly would be yellow. Red is bumper to bumper. Points of interest for home, work, favorites, and nearby parking can be turned on or off to allow them or not allow them to show on screen. Keep in mind that home and work are customized through My Destinations in your Lexus app. You can go through the process to recalibrate the map. If for any reason the vehicle position is not showing correctly on the map, you can choose to recalibrate the position manually. Usually the current position mark will automatically correct itself by GPS signals, but if the GPS reception is poor in your current location, you can always adjust it manually here. We'll click Cancel to exit that feature. And come to Route Options. Taking a look at preferences, you can allow the system to avoid toll roads, highways, ferries, seasonal roads, and border crossings. I do love this new system now because it is very straightforward. If you want the system to avoid toll roads, just click to turn it on. But if you have a toll tag and you'd like to use toll roads in your navigation, make sure that that item is not selected. The Drive Connect system does have a predictive, efficient drive capability on hybrid models. That means that it is going to take into account the most efficient route possible to further enhance the fuel economy of your vehicle. Clicking Settings to go back, and open Vehicle Customization. Items on this screen will vary depending on the equipment on your vehicle. Coming to Lights, you can adjust the sensitivity of the auto headlights. You can allow them to come on sooner rather than later. So do you want it to be brighter outside when the lights come on, or wait a little bit longer and it could be dark or darker out before the automatic headlights would turn on for you? Just press OK after you've made your selection. There's an auto off timer for the headlights, so after you've exited and locked your vehicle, your headlights will stay on for either 30, 60, or 90 seconds, or you can choose to turn that feature off. If you'd like to leave this feature on, but you want your headlights to turn off sooner, just click the lock button 2 times on your key fob. You can choose to disable the daytime running lights or leave them on. Exterior lights are the puddle or welcome lights underneath the door handles on the vehicle. You can choose to have those stay on for 7.5, 15, or 30 seconds, or you can turn the feature off. And the same is true for the interior lighting. As long as you have the door mode on, these exterior and interior lights will function automatically for you. And the interior lights have the same amount of selection times, 7.5, 15 seconds, 30 seconds, or off. Just press OK after you've made your selection. Coming to door control, these are customizations that you can make about the auto lock feature. So once you've entered the vehicle and turned it on, do you want the doors to lock when you shift from park into gear or at speed, which is at about 3 miles an hour? Or do you want to turn that feature off, which means you're in charge of locking the doors? Most people prefer by shift from park. And now let's look at the auto unlock feature. After you've gone for your drive, do you want the vehicle to unlock when you shift back into park, or by the driver's door, which means you would turn the vehicle off, put it into park, open the driver's door, and the whole UX would unlock, or leave the feature off? Then, when you want to exit the vehicle, just pull on the door handle like normal, or click the unlock button to unlock the UX. When they say wireless electronic key, they mean your key fob. Do you want to allow the unlock button to unlock the entire vehicle when you press it 2 times? That's a really nice feature to have turned on. And do you want to allow the vehicle to be locked when a door is open? That means that if you have the back door open, for example, you could use the lock button on the key fob to lock the remaining passenger doors. This is great if you're going camping or tailgating or you're out at the beach. It's a very convenient feature to leave turned on. How do you want the smart access system to unlock your vehicle? When you put your hand in the driver's door handle, do you want it to unlock the driver's door only or all the doors? There is an auto relock timer on the vehicle, not to be confused with an auto locking feature, which we do not have. So if you've gone for a drive, you exit the vehicle, you do need to lock your car. However, if your car is already locked and you press the unlock button on the key fob, or you start to unlock the vehicle from the door handle and you do not open a door, the system will relock after 30, 60, or 120 seconds, or you can turn that feature off. You can turn off or leave on the feedback lights, and you can increase or decrease the volume of the feedback tone, so the beeps and sounds that are made when you're clicking on the buttons on the key fob. Coming to boarding and exit, if your UX is equipped with driver position memory, you'll also have the driver's easy exit feature. This allows you to customize how the seat and steering column move or don't move when you turn off the vehicle, just to make it easier to get in and out of your UX. You'll be able to customize the amount of seat slide, full, partial, or off, and the steering column. Do you want it to tilt, telescope, or tilt and telescope? Coming to custom drive mode. UX models with the F-Sport handling package will also have a custom drive mode. You can choose power, normal, or eco for the powertrain, sport or normal for the chassis, so the feel of the drive, and eco or normal for the air conditioning system. Select climate for some climate customizations. The optional heated and ventilated seats have an auto mode, and you can choose to increase or decrease the sensitivity for that auto feature. So how soon would you want that feature to turn on automatically My recommendation, if you're using the auto mode for your seat climate, leave it at the standard, which is 0. If you feel like it's not responding quick enough, then go ahead and increase the sensitivity. So +1 or 2. If you feel like it's coming on too soon, so it's too responsive, you would decrease the sensitivity, -1 or -2. But start out at the baseline before you make that change. You can make that customization for the front left seat and the front right seat. You can customize the steering wheel temperature operation to allow the heated steering wheel to stay on longer or shorter because it does time out automatically. You can allow the AC compressor to operate with auto mode or turn that off if you would like to manually take charge of the air conditioning compressor. Select Settings to go back and come to Voice and Search. You can leave on or turn off the wake phrase or the wake words, and you can also turn off the voice prompts. When you turn off the voice prompts, that means your Lexus Assistant is not going to talk to you as much. Under most circumstances, you're just going to hear beeps. Let's take a listen. Hey, Lexus.
What would you like to do?
So that's an example with the voice prompts turned on. Check out what it's like with them off. Hey, Lexus. So just beeps instead of prompts. Completely up to you, whatever you prefer. Select Dealer Info. You can add your servicing dealership. Coming to Info and Security, you can customize the vehicle nickname here, and you can turn on the privacy lock. I want you to know a couple of things about the privacy lock. If you turn it on, it just means that it's going to require a password if the head unit becomes disconnected from power. So either the battery on the vehicle has died or the battery on the vehicle is going through a normal servicing process. If that happens, you are going to have to remember the code that you put into this privacy lock. If you can't recall it or it needs to be reset, it must be reset through a computer by a Lexus technician at your Lexus dealership. So the privacy lock is not what we would use for valet parking the vehicle. That's going to be guest mode. So just remember that. You can do a full system reset. Keep in mind that the primary driver's profile must be actively connected to the vehicle for a system reset to be accessible. Otherwise, this will be grayed out. If you select Software Update, if there are updates available for the vehicle, you can just follow the prompts on screen to complete that update. Selecting Model Info, and you can scroll through the software versions that are currently running on your vehicle. There's a lot of information here. Just click the X to clear that screen. Licensing information is also available for the features running on the vehicle. And select Software Update with the left-facing arrow to go back to our settings menu. And come to Apps. You can choose to reinstall all of the apps that are operating on the vehicle. Keep in mind these apps are your music streaming apps, so Apple Music, Amazon Music. Otherwise, you don't need to do a reinstall unless the vehicle prompts you to do so. We'll click Cancel. If you click Remote Connect, it will tell you that your remote authorization is already complete, or it'll give you a code if you need to follow the steps to reconnect your remote feature. Selecting Apps to go back, Settings to go back, and we are done with our Lexus Interface Settings menu. When you shift the vehicle in reverse in a hybrid, it's common to hear a whirring type sound. That's an acoustic alert system for pedestrian awareness. When you shift into reverse, notice that you have two settings boxes in the bottom corners of the backup camera view on screen. A wide angle view. It is a bit of a fisheye lens. You will see kind of a curvature on each side. that's sort of shifted down. What you're actually seeing is part of the vehicle, including the bumper. So this black section is the bumper, just to give you an indication of where things are in relation to the rear of the vehicle when you're in reverse. You can customize the lines that you see while the vehicle is in reverse. This is the default view and typically the most popular. The yellow lines are dynamic. They turn as you do, and they show your intended path. The blue lines are the straightaway lines. So when the yellow lines line up with the blue lines, you know your wheels are straight. This center blue dash indicates the center line of the vehicle, and the red line means you are getting pretty close to that back bumper. If we turn off the dynamic yellow lines, these blue arced lines indicate the full turn angle, so lock to lock. If you were to turn your wheel all the way to the right or all the way to the left, that would be your intended path. We can turn off all of the lines except the red line. Let's click that settings box again on the lower right-hand corner, and now we have dynamic yellow lines and a dynamic center line. And coming back to our standard view. Our hazard lights are nested right in between those two main vents. We've had quite a change to the layout of the lower center console. The new UX has an optional wireless charger. Just place your compatible smartphone on the charger pad and you'll see the light change from green to a yellow-orange color. There's no need to turn it on. It will turn on and off automatically based on the charging needs of your device. Keep in mind that with wireless charging, our phones like to protect the batteries, so you may see that turn on and off periodically. So if you have a charging pad, it's not a good idea to store other items here because you don't want to damage the charging pad surface. You have two USB-C ports for charging, two center cup holders, new controls for seat climate. Taking a look at the EV mode button, EV mode will activate electric vehicle only mode when possible. I do get a lot of questions about the EV mode button because it's common that when you press the EV mode button, you'll see this message, EV mode unavailable, hybrid battery low. Don't panic. The hybrid system is designed to support the hybrid battery as you drive. The gasoline engine can help power the vehicle and help build charge. Regenerative braking will happen automatically as you are doing normal everyday driving. So when would you use the EV mode? EV mode is all electric only, very low speeds, and for a very short distance. Otherwise, you allow EV mode to turn on and off. So we're in EV mode right now, but the gasoline engine will come on if required, and you'll see that EV mode icon turn off. So if you're wanting to use EV mode for fuel efficiency, my recommendation is that you actually don't. EV mode is really designed to help decrease air and noise pollution. And for your normal driving in your Lexus Hybrid, the most fuel-efficient way to drive is to allow the system to change automatically from electric to gas or any combination thereof, and you can always put the vehicle in eco mode if you prefer. The brake hold feature will hold your foot brake for you. You can turn brake hold on from park. Just press the button and you'll see the green hold icon on your dash. To use brake hold, you must have your seatbelt on and have the vehicle shifted into drive. You'll see your brake hold icons. Hold in green lets you know the feature is turned on. It has the same symbol that you see on the brake hold button. And hold in gold means the system is holding the foot brake for you. Hold in gold lets you know that you can remove your foot from the foot brake. Even though you're in drive, you have come to a complete stop. Hold in gold, remove your foot. When you're ready to drive again, just apply the accelerator. Come to a complete stop, hold in gold, you can remove your foot. I do like to hover near the brake because the system will time out and then it'll let you know you need to reapply the brake and you can reactivate the system. When you're ready to turn brake hold off, you can either turn off the vehicle or press the brake hold button. But watch this. If you press the brake hold button and you have not reapplied the foot brake, it's not going to let you turn it off. So apply the brake, then press the brake hold button, and the feature is off. The armrest opens from the driver's side and the passenger side. Under the armrest, you'll locate small storage cubby, the USB-A port that is for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto tethered with a cable to the vehicle, and a 12-volt accessory charger. Thank you so much for stopping by the Lexus Virtual Classroom today. It's great to have you here. I hope this answered your questions about your brand new Lexus UX. Thanks again for dropping by. We'll see you next time.